Alright. We've got game 2 between Zested and Sedgehun. Game 1 ended with a very good lethal, actually. We're going to see Zested going with advantage. They won with Sedgehun's commander. They were playing Sedge. Excellent ending to the first game. And now we see Sedgehun sticking with Wulfar, actually. And I actually think Sedgehun has a really good Wulfar, but I feel like they just didn't pull the trigger on Groove, and we're going to see, are they going to change things up in game 2 here? Are we going to see a more aggressive play come out of Sedgehun? And yeah, this is Headlands. They both know the openings pretty well. A lot of experience on this map. I'm surprised we haven't seen it more in round 2. There was definitely the first few tournaments of the game, or first few sets of the tournament, I should say. Tournaments of the game. First few sets of the tournament, we were seeing just Headland for game 1 every time. People have been varying it up a lot, and we've actually not seen as much Headland. Maybe like people are feeling a bit too comfortable on it. They don't want to let their opponent just like have a free advantage. So yeah, we've not seen it too much in round 2 so far either, but they're going to go to it, and I think this is actually a map both commanders do cool things on. We see Zawan able to do cool stuff with vines, able to, I mean, there's the famous cleaner code match in Wargroove 1 where they just lined up a night crit using vines, and that was like really cool. Not going to see that this game, I don't think, but people have gotten a little bit better at defending their strongholds. That said, vines still have a lot of cool options. You can cut off your opponent's armies, you can cut off their reinforcements. You could force a game state where like you're taking your opponent's tower, like cutting off the reinforcements from this barracks. But typically you'll see them more for like actual just straight up fights. And like typically you'll also see like a green finger tier 2 in that regard. Right now, ooh, we're actually seeing Harpy come into play here. Going to be used to push back this army. This mage needs to be in position. Wulfar might just go straight up kill this Harpy, although there isn't actually a tile for him to do so. The flagstones are in front of the Harpy as opposed to behind it. Harpy going to be safe for the moment. Ooh, nice little crit there coming out from Wulfar. Yeah, this army, ooh, actually going to get a nice little hit with this dog. These dogs on the right hand side going to put in some nice work. It's really difficult to know when you should build dogs. I think that's like an experience and a playstyle thing, because sometimes you'll just see people build lots of dogs and then they'll just get completely crushed late game. They don't have enough units to do like building captures, for example. But in this case, we're seeing really good use of those dogs being very aggressive and actually going to trap this knight. Very smart play coming out there, and oh yeah, like something is going to have to get sacrificed to keep this knight alive. Probably the low health sword. Yeah, the Harpy is just like super in danger if it stays around. And there's Zested. Maybe panicking a little bit, realizing that that position in the bottom right is about to get overrun. And the tower is vulnerable to going down. But that said, push in the center. Zawan has their tier 1 up. So they can do a lot of pressure. And they have a golem on the left hand side. So that golem can basically fight off this army on the left. With like the rest of the infantry around it. Okay, like, you know, a couple knights can threaten to kill a golem. But you have to be able to use them smartly. Sedgehun had 1900 gold at the start of their turn. And they're also playing really fast. I think they realized that playing on a bit of a smaller map is going to work better for them. They don't want to have to go into a map where they could like potentially lose the timeout. And Headland is not a map that you see timeouts very often on. Sure, it can happen on like grindier games, but it tends to go by a bit quicker. And we're going to keep an eye on the timer of this game as well. Like 13 minutes spent on the first 9 turns for Zested. And Sedgehun probably looking to be about the same actually as well. Oh, is there an actual place for this to go? Or is it just going to do damage? Bang, bang, bang. Oh, that's going to get picked off by this mage in the back. And just does a tier 2 for damage. I didn't even realize Wulfar had tier 2 at this point. Oh, a nice positioning on these knights. They're just sitting behind this village, ready to go. The dragon's going to come forward. And Sedgehun, once again, has taken a pretty, like, chunky econ lead. Zested going down to 900 golds for this turn at the start. And it really is going to come down to... Ooh! Actually, nice pick off on the mage. And we're going to see vines come out. And oh, actually, they had to kill the mage first. Would have liked... The general thing about Zawan, or any groove where, like, you could pop it like any point, is like you want to do it as quickly as you can, because you don't want to waste a bunch of groove. You want to build more groove to get your second one up. So being at 150% groove and using it is really not ideal. That said, you know, it's a really good time to use tier 1, so, and that's the more important thing, is like being in a good position after you use your groove. Like, if you can win the game with a tier 1 and that you burn like 90% of the extra charge, then you absolutely go for it. Okay, we're gonna see not a suicide, so just a lot of damage coming in on Wulfar. Oh, but this dog will suicide, and is this gonna get close? I don't even know if there's like time to calculate a lethal like this. But we're gonna see another dog suicide come in. Oh, that's so much damage. Double crits on these low health dogs too. And is this gonna be enough? There is a sword follow-up. And Wulfar is sitting on 60%. Commander will do 35-ish, I think, if there's a mage heal. I don't know if there is though. And we might just see this be a ton of damage coming in on Wulfar as opposed to lethal. And yeah, that's what it's going to be. No extra unit. If this low health sword was just in range, or if this one had been in range, then maybe, but not going to be the case. Yeah, we're just going to see this low health knight come and follow up. Go for a bunch of damage. And I think Wulfar is actually fine here. 127%. There might even be a counter lethal. I think. Oh yeah, Zested realizes it. They're just like, no, I went in too hastily and didn't get the lethal. Probably wanted like a witch on top of everything if they were going to go for something like that, just to open up extra damage from those dogs on the suicides. But nope, doesn't work out, unfortunately. And Sedgehun's just going to take it. Like, Zested's just like, no, I can't make it work. So yeah, that's game 2. Not really much else to say. Like, Zested just went for a lethal attempt. Sedgehun had an econ lead. Pretty good. Like, they're both fairly even on timer as well. So Zested just felt the pressure, and yeah, it just didn't really work out. So Sedgehun's going to take this one.